If the 2017 box office was typified by any one movie, it was surely Rian Johnson's Star Wars: The Last Jedi, a smart, intelligently curated yet ever so slightly soulless example of machine-honed franchise filmmaking. It ticked every box for fans of the venerable space saga, without ever really pushing the envelope. A movie that eventually made the Kessel Run, but 40 years or so after Han Solo and Chewie had already achieved that legendary feat, The Last Jedi, like Spider-Man, Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Wonder Woman before it in 2017, proved that Hollywood probably has the tools and talent to keep churning out episodic blockbuster fantasy until at least 2050. To complain at this state of affairs would be churlish, especially when studios are delivering substandard and ill-considered material such as Justice League. But it does feel as if the Hollywood zeitgeist has crystallized in recent times, and we are in an era of fabulously made yet increasingly homogeneous Marvel and Star Wars flicks that leave us only semi-satisfied. Perhaps this is why the year's greatest celluloid treasure, Blade Runner 2049, failed to gain traction with modern audiences who had perhaps never seen anything like it. In that spirit, here's a guide to upcoming films that might just move things on this year. Sequels, remakes and mega-franchise fare are therefore largely banned as we go looking for the films with the best chance of leading us into a brave new world of sci-fi and fantasy in 2018. First up is Alex Garland's Annihilation, due out in February, which would merit a place solely because the British filmmaker's last effort, Ex Machina, was a singular example of a cerebral, gripping futuristic think piece. Annihilation's premise, on the face of it, is not all that exceptional, with Garland adapting Jeff Vandermeer's novel about the biologist, Natalie Portman, who heads into an environmental disaster zone in search of answers after her soldier husband, Oscar Isaac, returns alone injured and close to death from a mission there. A quick dip into the book, however, suggests a discombobulating trip into the heart of darkness, where unknown, unearthly horrors lurk. Could Garland's movie be the Alien on Earth movie we were promised as far back as 1992, but have so far never got to see? Garland has perhaps taken the mantle of Duncan Jones as the coming man of sci-fi. After the disaster that was Jones's adaptation of World of Warcraft, the Moon director is returning to more intimate territory with a futuristic mystery thriller Mute, described as a spiritual successor to Moon. It is also said to be inspired by the original Blade Runner, which can never be a bad thing and might sate the appetites of those of us longing for yet more mesmeric visions of the android-strewn dystopian future. Word is that Sam Rockwell will return as Moon's Sam Bell, or perhaps one of his clones, but the main storyline centers on a mute bartender with a violent past, Alexander Skarsgård, searching for his lost lover in mid-21st century Berlin. Next up is Captive State, in August, from Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Rupert Wyatt, the British director's first science fiction movie since leading the Man vs. Simian saga, with a budget of just $25 million. It will be fascinating to see how Wyatt delivers a story set 10 years after an alien invasion of Chicago. Neil Blomkamp's District 9 was shot for $30 million in 2009, while Gareth Edwards completed Monsters a year later for $500,000, so it can be done. Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One, due out in March, has the unenviable task of trying to convince us to get excited all over again about virtual reality worlds. The best part of 2 decades after The Matrix gave us the definitive interdigital wonderland on the big screen, based on Ernest Cline's hugely popular novel. Early trailers suggest this means swapping out Trinity, Morpheus et al. For pop culture stalwarts, such as Freddy Krueger, Lord of the Rings orcs, the Iron Giant and Deadpool, which all seems a little corporate. And yet if anyone is due a late career renaissance, it is Spielberg. If he proves he can still cut it in this realm, others will surely follow the 3-time Oscar winner back down the digital rabbit hole, onto another long-lost subgenre, steampunk. Not since Chris Weitz' ill-fated The Golden Compass a decade ago have we seen a memorable big-budget example of the mode in cinemas, unless one counts Martin Scorsese's splendid Hugo. Is it time for a renaissance? If so, Christian Rivers' Mortal Engines, about a world in which technology has regressed to Victorian levels and wheel-mounted carnivorous cities chase each other across the plains, might be the answer. Based on an adaptation of Philip Reeves' post-apocalyptic novel by the Lord of the Rings team of Fran Walsh, Philip Bournes, and Peter Jackson. It stars Irish actor Robert Sheehan alongside Rings alumnus Hugo Weaving. Avatar's Stephen Lang plays the film's main baddie, a murderous cyborg known as Shrike, and there are 3 more books in Reeves' series if audiences get a taste for this future retro blend. Finally, only one superhero flick looks like it will break new ground. 20th Century Fox's The New Mutants, with a fine cast including the witches Anya Taylor-Joy and Game of Thrones Maisie Williams. Josh Boone's comic book tale will dip its toe into the resurgent horror genre. It's set in a secret facility where several future X-Men types find themselves imprisoned and in imminent danger, and is being talked up as the first in a potential trilogy. With Deadpool and Logan emerged as 2 of the livelier comic book entries of the past few years, it seems that Fox is finally carving out a place for the X-Men at the more mature end of the superhero spectrum. If we have any hope that 2018 will mark the beginning of a new era in fantasy filmmaking, this could be a very welcome mutation.